Way back in 1993, John Carmack and John Romero kickstarted the first-person shooting genre with their classic game Doom. Now 23 years later, id Software is taking another crack at this fabled franchise. So, is it worth it? Let's find out. The first-person shooter has certainly gone through a drastic evolution since its popularization in the 1990s. Regenerating health and linear single-player stages have largely become the industry standard, creating a more accessible and less demanding experience. But Doom isn't concerned with contemporary norms. At times it can feel downright antagonistic, forcing players to adapt to burdensome challenges and purposely denying strategic advantages. In short, it's do or die, but in many ways this throwback of run-and-gun gameplay feels every bit as refreshing and engaging as it did 20 years ago. In terms of the franchise, Doom is a reboot. Taking place on the human colony of Mars, an interdimensional experiment goes awry, opening a portal to hell itself. Players take control of an unnamed super soldier determined to fight back the demonic forces with his arsenal of gruesome weapons. If that sounds simple, it's because it is. Doom wisely pushes its story to the background with brief cutscenes and occasional references to the greater narrative. Instead, the campaign focuses on what the series is best known for: fast, violent gun battles against grotesque monsters. Gameplay is simple: move and shoot. But a few thoughtful additions help make this classic combat more palatable for modern audiences. After critically damaging a demon, players can activate a glory kill, brutal melee attacks that cause enemies to drop health. It's a reasonable compromise, as the campaign's arena shooting becomes quite difficult early on, with ammo and armor progressively becoming more scarce. But you'll never run out of guns. Many of the classic weapons of the original, such as shotguns and chainsaws, make their return, each with a sensational explosion of carnage and gore, which is all tied together in Doom's snappy movement, inviting players to circle strafe while bombarding deformed creatures into chunky bloody bits. Overall, the combat is fairly repetitive, with progress often being halted until enemies are eliminated, but the frequent introduction of new soul-feasting fiends and weapons liven up the rather similar scenarios. Surprisingly, Doom contains a number of first-person platforming sequences, where the Marine must leap and cling to ledges. It's not exactly in keeping with the spirit of its predecessors, but this introduction of verticality allows stages to become more varied and open, with a healthy dose of secrets and collectibles to be discovered. Perhaps the most successful new feature are the Rune challenges. Here, players must complete a specific task within a limited time. Accomplishing these goals unlocks new abilities related to the event, such as collecting orbs while jumping grants improved airborne movement. Weapons can also receive improvements, including explosive shotgun shells and scopes for rifles. These addictive diversions not only provide a satisfying test, but prepare players to fully utilize their new powers. The only problem is, rune challenges and weapon bots are deliberately hidden around the labyrinthian stages. While this encourages exploration, it can slow down the fast-paced gameplay. During my 6 hours with the campaign, I was only able to enhance my weapons 3 times. Increasing stat abilities such as health and resistance to explosives are far easier to obtain, but they don't contain the same level of gratification. Graphically, Doom lives up to the id Software name, with a mostly consistent 60 frames per second on the PlayStation 4 and a showcase of particle and lighting effects. Many of the locations are reserved in their design, but this creates a greater level of freedom when enemies appear. The redesigns of classic demons is delightfully disturbing. Even the most comical of ideas, say a skeleton with a jetpack and a rocket launcher, is treated with such reverence and care that it actually becomes intimidating. Doom doesn't skimp on the satanic imagery, and it's all the better for it. Blasting open the blood-soaked bodies of horrific monstrosities is always thrilling. Beyond the main campaign are a diverse suite of multiplayer modes. Snap Map allows players to create and upload their very own single and co-op stages with simple creation tools. While my ambitions to design were limited, the already impressive amount of user-created content displays the versatility in the program. Sadly, the majority of multiplayer modes are somewhat lackluster. Guns are automatically upgraded to include modifications, which adds a welcomed amount of variety, but Doom's arena-style renditions of team deathmatch and domination feel tired. There is one bright spot, however, in the form of freeze tag. Here, players are granted a single life, becoming frozen in place once defeated. However, nearby allies can resurrect them by standing by for a short period of time. For a 20-year-old concept, freeze tag is surprisingly fun, with the majority of matches being close and competitive. Simply put, it's the best reason to take the fight online. So, is it worth it? Yes. Doom is a celebration of a bygone era, delivering a retro-inspired experience in a AAA package. Its small tweaks to the formula add just enough complexity to what is essentially a very simple game. It's also one of the best-looking titles of the year, and its technical tricks keep the performance impressive throughout. The competitive multiplayer is mostly dull, but the inclusion of freeze tag makes this otherwise forgettable section well worth checking out. And with the potential of snap maps just starting to solidify, there's a chance for even more excellent stages. Yes, Doom is a throwback. Its ideas and designs are old and out of date, but that's exactly what makes it one of the most unique shooters of the generation. Doom is currently available on the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC for $60. If you've had a chance to play it, let me know what you thought, and if you haven't, let me know if you plan on picking it up. My name is Colin Tanner, and I'll see you in the next video.